Hi, I'm Scott Rixner, and today we're going to be talking about the environment that we're going to be using for this class. I really think you're going to like it. However, my opinion might be a little bit biased. Why? Well, this is what I spent my summer vacation doing. I built this environment especially for this class, and this is going to allow us to build interactive applications directly in the web browser. I think this is pretty exciting, and you're not going to find this in any other introductory programming class, so this is going to make this class something special. All right? You can also save and share your files really easily. We basically are storing everything out on the network so that you can easily find it from any machine. You can send it to other people and they can see it as well. So you're going to be able to share the excitement that you're having throughout this class. Okay? Now, to make all this work, we had to use some relatively new web technologies. This means that you have to have a recent version of Chrome, Firefox, or Safari on just about any operating system. Sorry, no Internet Explorer. Why? Well, like I said, these new web technologies are not implemented exactly the same across all browsers, and Internet Explorer is really lagging behind. Hopefully in the future it will work, but for now you have to stick to one of those three browsers. Okay? Now, if you're like one of my Rice students, you listened to that, you immediately ignored me, you grabbed your phone, and you said, hey, does it work? Well, I have no idea if it works on your phone, but it does work on mine. Okay. Now you're not going to enjoy editing your code on that small screen, so I do suggest you get one of those browsers so that you can get ready to go, and we'll take a look at our environment. The environment we're going to use in this class is called CodeSkulptor. Now why do we call it CodeSkulptor? Well, because you're going to be sculpting code. All right, what is CodeSkulptor? Well, it's a Python development environment. Why Python? Well, Python is a programming language that is relatively easy to use and learn, but it's still quite powerful. And for that reason, you find it in use in a lot of introductory programming courses. Okay? CodeSkulptor also allows us to build interactive programs. Why? Well, we think this is more fun. Basically, most introductory programming classes, you're going to build text-based programs, and it's just boring, okay? Here, we're going to build interactive games that you can use and play with, all right? And I think that you're going to find this really adds to the experience, and you'll let us know, I'm sure, by the time we're done. But I'm pretty positive you're going to agree with us. And finally, CodeSkulptor runs in the browser, and this has a lot of advantages. This basically means that you don't have to install any software, you don't have to worry about it, you can move from computer to computer really easily. Your friends can use CodeSkulptor. You don't have to worry about having a different version or a slightly different version than anybody else. We all have the same exact version, we're all running. We can have changes and updates applied immediately to everybody. Okay, so I think this is going to make it a simple, fun experience. Right? We also, because we're in the browser, we have an easy way of storing and sharing files. Now we're going to put these out in the cloud. What is the cloud? Well, cloud is sort of a nebulous term, but the way that we're going to use that term is there's a bunch of data centers around the world, and these data centers have plenty of storage. When you save your file in CodeSkulptor, it goes out to one or more of these data centers. Now it's available on the network from anywhere. You can move computers and get it back. You can send it in an email and get it back, right? Basically, you store and save your files and you refer to them by a URL. And as long as you have that URL, you can get at your stuff anywhere and you can start editing and running it anywhere, okay? All right, we think that this is a unique combination, and you're just not going to find this in any other introductory class. You're probably not going to find it in any other class, quite frankly, and I think this is going to make this class unique, special, and fun, and I really hope you're going to agree. So CodeSkulptor has now been in use across several classes, and we've had great success with it, so I really don't anticipate you seeing many problems. Okay, however, there are a few things that I'd like to call your attention to, and the first is that there are some very minor differences between the implementation of Python in CodeSkulptor and the implementation of Python that you would download and install directly on your computer. Okay, these differences are really not that big. They're not a big deal. When we encounter them, we'll talk about them clearly, and they're not going to cause you any trouble, and they're really probably not even going to cause you any trouble when you transition over from using the CodeSkulptor implementation to any other implementation of Python. Okay, so I just want to call your attention to that, right? There are also some differences in terms of the libraries that are available, all right? In Python, there is the language itself, and then there are a whole bunch of libraries that implement additional features beyond the core of the language, okay? In CodeSkulptor, we only implemented a few of these libraries. We implemented the libraries that you actually need. We didn't implement everything else. And the main impact of this will be if you're trying to solve a particular problem and you use Google to find out how do I do something in Python, you may find an answer that says, hey, just use this library and it does it for you. And in CodeSkulptor, you're not going to be able to do that. Now, this also should have relatively small impact because we've implemented all the libraries that you're actually going to need for this class. So here we are at CodeSkulptor, right? www.codeskulptor.org. You're going to be using that a lot, so you may as well just bookmark it right now. All right? Let me walk you through the main elements of the application. You'll see in the upper left, we have the control area, where we have the buttons that allow us to actually control the application. In the lower left, we have the editor. This is where we actually write our Python programs and build them up as we make our exciting interactive applications. In the lower right, we have the console area. This is where the textual output of your program will go if you have any. And then last but not least, in the upper right, we have the documentation area. And you can see that you can get to the documentation, you can get to some demonstration programs, and you can get to some videos. Now you can get to some of this from the Coursera website, but it's convenient to have it available directly right here. And one last thing that I want to draw your attention to is this slider bar here in the middle. You can change the amount of area that you allocate to the editor and the console. So you can, when you're editing, give more space over there, and when you're looking at your output, you can give more space over there if you'd like. And that's CodeSkulptor. The first program that any computer scientist runs in a new environment is called Hello World, right? And the point of Hello World is not to actually do anything useful. It's simply to get you familiar with the environment and make sure you can actually run a program. So here we have it. And if we go up into the control area and push the run button, and you'll notice that when I push it, there is a tooltip that says run, telling me it's the run button. And you'll see that what happens out here in the console area is it prints Hello World. And that's what Hello World is supposed to do. Okay, so let's take a look at this program. All right, there are three elements to it, and the first is this first line here is a comment. And comments start with the hashtag, right? So we got a hashtag, and then it says whatever you want. So I can type anything I want after a comment. This is another comment. I can have blank lines. I can do anything I want, basically. Okay, so a comment is a line that gets ignored, so nothing happens in response to a comment. So if it's ignored, why do we do it? Well, comments are there to make your program easier to read and easier to understand for both you and other people reading it. So I would like to see in every program you write for this course, and pretty much for the rest of your life as a programmer, that you write clear and useful comments that help people understand what's going on in your program. Okay? All right, the second thing in this program is this print command here. What does print say? Print means take the thing that you have after it and send it over here to the console, okay? Well, what do we have after it? Well, what we have after it is a string, hello world. And a string is just basically a piece of text. And to get a string in Python, you enclose it in quotes. So you can see here that we have single quotes surrounding this hello world that says this is a string, and it just means take the text inside of it and use it. So print hello world, and you can see that there it goes and it prints, right? In Python, it's a little bit curious. I could use either single or double quotes, right? But you have to be consistent. You can't have one single and one double quote, and nothing is changed, right? This is still a string. So I hit run, and hey, everything's the same. It's right. Wait a minute here, okay? It didn't look like anything changed, all right? That's where the reset button here comes in, all right? If I hit reset, it clears the console. Now I can run this again, and I can see that it actually did print hello world correctly. Right? Now you don't need the reset button. When I hit the run button, it implicitly resets, but you just can't see it because it happens so fast. But let me show you. Okay, so if I were to add print hi, okay, and I just hit run, you'll see it did in fact reset the console. It printed hi first and then hello world. Okay, so everything is actually running over here. Okay, so you have the option of hitting reset if you like, but you can just hit run. All right. Hey, we've run our first program. Congratulations. Now, I know there are some people out there that are watching this video that said, CodeSkulptor, this isn't real Python, so this course is going to be useless. I want to assure everyone out there that these statements are totally false. You are going to learn how to program in Python in this class. Our choice of environment is a pedagogic one. CodeSkulptor provides us the capability to make it very easy for you to share your code, very easy for us to do peer assessment, and very easy for the staff to help people when they're struggling. And these advantages far outweigh any perceived advantages of any other Python environment. This class is about teaching programming principles. We are going to teach you how to program in Python, and these ideas transcend any particular environment. Many people have taken this class before, and by the time they get to the end, they realize that they do know how to program in Python, and they are able to transfer these skills beyond CodeSkulptor. Right? I promise you, once you've taken this class, you are going to know enough to be dangerous. So this ends our whirlwind tour of CodeSkulptor. We've shown you what it is, we've shown you how to use it, and we've even run a program in it. Well, you've watched me run a program in it. So at this point, I encourage you to go to codeskulptor.org and try it out and run a program for yourself. You can run the demo program that shows up when you load it. You can run the Hello World program from this video. You can even go to the demos page and try some of those demos as well. Okay? Don't worry about the Python right now. Just worry about going to CodeSkulptor and trying to make sure that you can actually run a program and get used to the interface and how it all works. Okay? Hopefully at this point I've whet your appetite for the course and you're ready to get started. I know I am.